Well, a video from Ladakh has triggered a huge controversy after a woman tourist was seen arguing with security personnel at the Minimark checkpoint in Kargil. What should have been a routine journey through one of India's most strategically sensitive regions turned into a confrontation, and one particular line from the video has now become the center of the controversy. Listen in.
बिल्कुल
सीनियर को बुलाओ ना आपका मंत्री यहाँ से कैसे निकलेगा we are Gen Zs we are not tolerate this nonsense we are not tolerate this nonsense आप लोग मुझे बताओ आप लोग बैठोगे या नहीं बैठोगे बैठूंगा चलो चलो कैसे रोकेंगे हमें कैसे रोकेंगे 5 घंटे हो गए निकालो सब लोग गाड़ी और चलो
वो कश्मीर एयरपोर्ट पे नहीं उतरे
हम नहीं जाएंगे तो किसी को जाने नहीं देंगे हम लोग पैसे देके घूमने आते हैं या फिर ये सब टॉलरेट करने आते हैं ताला लगा दिया इन्होंने कश्मीरियों के साथ तो करते हैं अब बाहर के टूरिस्टों के साथ भी कर रहे हैं देखो इन्होंने किसी ताला लगा दिया फिर अपना नाम भी नहीं बताया और वहां चले गए ये देखो यहाँ पे कोई भी जवाबदारी के लिए कोई नहीं बैठा है यहाँ पर ताला लगा देगा
बिल्कुल
देगा
All right, hello and welcome to another episode of Deep Dive brought to you by NewsX. My name is Vineet Malhotra and today we take a dive into this Ladakh Gen Z row. The woman in this video is heard saying, "We are Gen Z, we won't tolerate this nonsense." The video went viral this week, drawing sharp criticism from social media users, political leaders and army veterans. The incident took place at the Minimark checkpoint in Kargil. And according to reports, the video was recorded on the 25th of July when security restrictions were in place along the Zojila-Gumri route. The restrictions were reportedly linked to the movement of Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi, who were travelling towards Kargil after weather conditions affected their original travel plans. The viral footage shows tourists waiting at the barricaded checkpoint and arguing with the security personnel. The woman can be heard saying that people had travelled from far away and spent significant amounts of money on their trip only to be stopped. She also questions why tourists were being subjected to such restrictions, and then comes the line that has fueled the entire controversy: "We are Gen Z, we will not tolerate this nonsense." And this is where the bigger issue comes in. Ladakh may be one of India's most popular tourist destinations, but it is also a border region with the major security sensitivities. The Union Territory's own tourism advisory warns visitors not to travel alone or to remote or restricted areas without the required permits. The administration has also previously emphasized that tourist movement in border areas has to be regulated, with certain locations being opened to civilians only after coordination with security authorities. In other words, the tourists' travel plans, money spent or distance travel do not override security protocols. And that is why the conduct seen in this viral video has come under such intense scrutiny. Several former army officers have publicly defended the personnel seen in the video. Former Army Chief General V.K. Singh said that criticism should be based on facts and not emotion or sweeping accusations, while reminding people of the vigilance and sacrifice of soldiers. Former Chinar Corps Commander Lieutenant General KJS Dhillo also responded to the video, particularly to the woman's reported remark that army salaries are paid through people's taxes. The controversy has now grown beyond one checkpoint. Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah also weighed in, criticizing the use of "We are Gen Z" as a form of entitlement or threat. He compared the attitude to the old phrase, "Jante nahi ho mera baap kaun hai," warning that using generational identity to assert superiority can quickly damage the goodwill associated with Gen Z. And that may be the biggest takeaway from this entire controversy. This is not about an entire generation. It is about individual conduct and whether being a tourist means you can disregard security instructions. Ladakh may be open to tourists, but not every road or forward area is. And when security personnel ask civilians to stop in a sensitive border zone, the expectation should be cooperation, not confrontation. Because in Ladakh, tourism comes with responsibility and security comes first. Captain Yashika H. Tyagi, Kargil War veteran, is with us on the program to talk more about this. Captain Yashika Tyagi, appreciate you being here with us. First of all, this is perhaps, a sense of entitlement that a tourist does not really understand the sensitivities of an area which is so sensitive. And secondly, there is also this attempt at using the tag Gen Z to invoke fear in authorities. How do you respond to this culture, which we hope doesn't take off?
You're very right in saying that this culture should not take off. And the responsibility lies on people like you and me to speak about it. A couple of sentences back, you said that this is also undermining the goodwill associated with Gen Z. Absolutely right. Because a freak incident like this does not speak about Gen Z in totality. Also during CJP protests, we saw when army was being mocked at and very hurtful sentences were being said about few people to armed forces. It was very, very, very painful. As a person who has worn uniform, as a person who has seen on a daily basis what armed forces are doing, they are standing between the real threat and a safe life. And so when we have incidents like these, sometimes it gives a thought in our mind that are we actually unable to make them see what is the threat perception actually looks like? This is exactly the same area of Eastern Ladakh where 27 years back we saw the Kargil, the Battle of Kargil was actually panning out on exactly same areas. The Gumri area was a very, very hot point at that point. Today, if tourists are saying that we are having inconveniences because of convoy movement of army, where Raksha Mantri and Chief were there, this actually speaks of entitlement of that particular person. I will certainly not brand the Gen Z into it. And you know, I know that in Kashmir, convoy movement is not just any other VIP movement. The security architecture exists because threat is real. Few years back when we had Pulwama, it was exactly the same thing when a civilian vehicle laden with explosives breached the army convoy. And what happened is known to everybody. And now when Yatra season is going on, the timing just before Yatra, during Yatra, is very, very hot, is very, very volatile, and it's very, very sensitive time. And so, for a civilian, the stopping of traffic is, of course, an inconvenience. And as a fact check for 4.5 hours that the traffic was stopped, yes, it is an inconvenience. But for the man who is responsible for securing that convoy, stopping it may be a life-saving decision. Would you rather have to open that convoy and have an accident? Who will be answerable for that?
Absolutely.
And when such hurtful sentences are said, मेरे को एक हिंदी का दोहा है. If you allow me to speak it,
Sure.
I would like to say these two lines that शब्द संभारे बोलिए, शब्द के हाथ ना पाऊं. Yani, choose your words carefully because your words themselves do not have any balance of their own. So, शब्द संभारे बोलिए, शब्द के हाथ ना पाऊं. एक शब्द औषधि बने, एक शब्द करे घाव. You know how it hurts when the words like taxpayers' money and you are getting salary because of the taxpayer is paying money is said. Very, very hurtful sentences. For everybody, please know that army, every soldier, every NCO, JCO, officer, every person gets the salary only after the tax has been deducted at exactly the same rate, at exactly the same bracket for every other citizen. There is no other tax bracket specially made for Fauji's.
You're quite right.
And everybody is paying salary here.
The Fauji's are the reason, Captain Yoshika Tyagi, that we are able to sleep peacefully at night because somebody is guarding that wall. Somebody is looking out for us. We've run out of
That
time,
is all the
but
more
I
reason
appreciate
that it
your
should not be abused.
I appreciate your perspective and your presence here. Thank you so much for taking out the time and speaking to us. We'll take a short break. Be right back.